Bitcoin is at $18,000 and we're about to approach the last part of this bull cycle. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed, smash the like button and share this video with a friend. I'm gonna be doing a giveaway once I hit 1,000 subs, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. Now, obviously Q4 when it comes to bull cycles is the craziest time where people are just like drunk off of crypto, you're making so much money and it's very easy to get caught up in the noise. And I think that it's a really important time to kind of establish your strategy and understand what you want to be doing and what your goals are, because people always have a initial goal, right? Like let's say people start off with $10,000 or $100,000 and their goal is to 5x it or 10x it, and they have some kind of like number in mind, right? And what happens is usually they make that money pretty quickly and it's like very surprising to the point where they're like, okay, well, I'm already here, but you know, what if it just like goes up double or triple or whatever the case may be? And what usually happens is they keep holding and it just goes into like, you know, crypto goes into like this bear cycle and they end up writing the profits down. And instead of trying to make 2x, they actually lose like 50% of whatever they made. And I promise you that that's going to hurt more than, you know, taking profits too early or whatever the case may be. And obviously you always want to have some sort of profit taking strategy. I guess my best suggestion when it comes to doing this, because I can't give obviously financial advice, whenever your crypto investments, they go up like 2 or 3x, it's always wise to consider taking out your initial investment. That way you kind of just take out all the risk. And so, you know, even if things do go down 50%, you're not really on the hook for anything and it doesn't feel as bad. And then if things continue to double or whatever the case may be, then maybe you start taking out more portions of whatever your investments are. Now, obviously going into Q4, there's going to be a lot of hot narratives in my opinion. I think the main ones are going to obviously be, you know, Bitcoin replacing the monetary system. I think that all of the stablecoin legislative, you know, bills getting passed, I think that they're going to use stablecoins in a huge way. And so right now we have this very heavy meta where it's like stablecoin blockchains, or they have, you know, yield farming, things of that nature. Not to mention decentralized perpetuals exchanges like Aster or Hyperliquid, things of that nature. So I think that whenever you kind of notice like what's going on, there's always going to be a very hot narrative. And Q4 is always going to be very chaotic. It's going to move very quickly. And so it's very important to take your strategy in mind, but also pay attention to what's going on and learn how to drive and, you know, navigate the narratives, because what usually happens is unless we get this huge surge of like hysteria where retail comes in and they're just like flooding like all this liquidity, it's still going to be very capital rotation type of strategy, I think. And like you're going to see that trend a lot. So for example, you're going to see a lot of money go into like, maybe it's like meme coins, and then maybe it goes into like artificial intelligence, and then maybe it goes into gaming or whatever the case may be. I would highly suggest that you have a baseline of layer ones. My two favorites are Solana and Sui. The main reason being is because they pretty much have the stamp of approval when it comes to getting their spot ETFs approved. I believe just like last week, it's been a lock that Solana is going to get approved. That's going to be happening sometime, I think, in the second week of October. And then Sui is also a very, I would say it's like an institutional grade type of cryptocurrency that a lot of people tend to love. It has a lot of adoption. They have stable coins integrating on it. So I think that those two together are going to be very interesting going into the Q4. So those are going to be my two backbone layer ones going into Q4. Now, obviously I have a lot of speculation plays, like, you know, whether it's real world assets like Ondo Finance. I have a couple memes in my portfolio. I personally love Pepe, Mog, and Pingu. I think that you can't fade meme coins. I think at some point they're going to make a return, especially with Pump Fund being so crazy. Not to mention Pump Fund is trying to combat like TikTok, and I think that they're going to be the decentralized way that onboards a lot of users into live streaming, because they have a lot of, you know, revenue generating sort of things that give back to the creators. So I think that that's going to be very interesting as it unfolds. Obviously Pump Fund is launched on Solana. So, you know, Solana stands to gain the most out of, you know, the meme coins, because those are typically on Solana. You have the live streaming and the creators. And I just think it's going to be a very interesting time. So I think that it's going to be very important to identify these trends, and obviously do not ride these down to zero again. Like we see this happen every 4-year cycle. And you know, it's really important to pay attention to what's going on, and it's very easy to get caught up in, you know, the people saying like never sell your crypto or whatever the case may be. You know, obviously my goal is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. So my strategy is I'm using these, you know, speculative altcoins or meme coins to basically accumulate more Bitcoin short term, and then I want to, you know, go into either stable coins to generate yield, or do some sort of, you know, obviously some conversion into Bitcoin, and then, you know, handle the real world finances and just kind of go from there and rinse and repeat. I think that everybody has a different strategy. And the best thing you can do is, find the one that works the best for you according to your goals. So I hope this content helps. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, smash the like button. I'll see y'all soon.